Hi, my name's Karen Lorre, and I wanted to share some cool things with you about how to let go of allergies. So, I used to have food allergies, and um, I would eat certain foods and I would have a negative response in my body. And one day I was thinking of a certain food and I felt sick in my body when I thought of it. But the food was nowhere around. And that made me realize it had nothing to do with the food. And it also made me realize that it never has anything to do with anything outside of me. It always has to do with my perspective. So I realized that I had a negative perspective about this food. So then I started to do two different things. The first thing is I practiced loving that food when I was nowhere around it. I didn't eat it, I just practiced thinking about it with love. I would get into a state of appreciation where my heart was overflowing, and then I would send that overflow of love to this food. And as I did that, my feeling about the food started to change. And as my feeling about the food changed, I could feel that when I thought about it, my physiology was shifting. I understand a lot about physiology. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not trying to say that this will work for everyone. You have to do what feels right for you. But if I had been eating in the past in a way that was stressful, then whatever I'm eating, my body cannot process it accurately. It doesn't know how to process it because I'm in stress mode. Stress mode means you're in flight or fight. And that is when blood is going to your arms and to your legs so you can run and hit and do all that other fun stuff. But none of the blood, or not none of it, but a lot of it is not going into your belly. So when you have this fight or flight or stress when you're eating, your body is unable to process the food that you're eating. And I realized that, and I thought, of course, my body's going to be in a negative state. I thought it was about the food, but it was really about my state of being, my perspective at the time that I was eating the food, and then I blamed it on the food. And that was not very nice of me to do. Anyway, now I started practicing focusing on the food and just loving the food. And I would wait until every single time I thought of that food with consistency, my heart was wide open. I felt happy. I felt joyful. I felt completely free, and my body felt full of goodness. There was no negative reaction to it. Only then, when I was in a total place of freedom, did I try eating a little bit of that food. And I would just eat a tiny bit and see how it felt. And then I would eat a little bit more and see how it felt. But what I found was every single food that I had been diagnosed with as being allergic to, or I'd been having physiological experiences that were showing that I had an allergic reaction to it, every single food became something that I could eat. And I could eat it with no problem, no deleterious effects at all. The second thing I did was I realized that if I'm in stress, my body cannot process the food. Therefore, whenever I eat, I must be in a state of relaxation. I must be in a state of ease. I must be in a state of pleasure and love. So I made a point that I would not eat anything unless I was feeling really good emotionally. And once I started practicing that, then my body got even better at being able to digest everything I was eating so much better. All of the foods that I used to be allergic to, I can now eat. It's easy, it's effortless, there's no issue at all. Some of them I used to go to the hospital because I was eating them, and now there's no problem at all. So that's just something easy and fun. The first thing is to practice loving that food when you're not eating it, loving it until you feel so free and so happy every time you think about that food. And then the second thing is to eat only when you're in a state of relaxation and happiness and love. I hope that helps. I love you. I love food. I love this beautiful planet. I love who we are. I love co creating with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.